When you're manifesting a specific person, do you just get like short-term results, like nothing is ever sticking, and you're so frustrated, you're like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Why can't I get anything to stay? Why is everything just like reverting back to the old negative circumstances that I don't want anymore? What is going on? How can I make it stick? That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Alex. I talk about manifestation, soul healing, life in general, and today I'm going to be sharing thoughts that have come to me as I have been reading Florence Scovel Schinn's The Classic Trilogy, The Game of Life and How to Play It, Your Word is Your Wand. The Secret Door to Success is also in this book. I haven't quite gotten there yet. I've been focusing on the first two. And I've been really reading up about love and relationships, and I have learned some fascinating things. Now, this is actually the second video I am recording today. I just did a 30-minute video on this, and I was like, well, this is a fantastic deep dive, but I also wanted to give you guys like a quick summary so that you can understand in a shorter time period. So this video is going to come out first, and if you want the deeper dive, then it's going to come out after this one later this week. So stay tuned for that. Hit the notification bell, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a thumbs up, drop a comment, all the usual stuff. So let's get into it. So basically what I was exploring with this is like what I just said. Why is it that sometimes we manifest like what people refer to as soulmates, where it's like a temporary connection and it just teaches you something, but it doesn't last? Because that's real great. But eventually in life, most of us want like a life partner. We want something long term. We want something that lasts. So how do we get that? What's going on? Now, basically, what I talk about in this deep dive way more is that my understanding is that Florence talks about manifesting under law, under like karmic law, or manifesting under under grace, which is grace is when you, my understanding is when you surrender to faith in your divine plan, in your God self. You surrender to God, to the divine plan, the subconscious plan, your higher consciousness's plan, however you want to say it. You surrender to that. You are at ease. You are at peace. You are under grace. And so the ultimate best thing is going to manifest for you in the ultimate best way. And you are so at ease because you are under grace, knowing that this is coming because it is your divine right as creation is finished. And it's just a matter of you coming into the timing that you're not trying to control anything, you're not trying to manipulate anything. It's all just flowing the way it is. All you are doing is staying focused on being in a state of ease and peace and love and faith and surrender. Whereas opposed to when you are operating under a state of karmic law, she's basically, my understanding is that you are focusing your conscious mind on the how or the circumstances. So you're like, well, I need them to text me this much, or I need them to call me, or we have to have a date and it has to go like this, or she needs to say this specific thing to me, or if he doesn't buy me flowers and chocolates and show up at my doorstep, I'm not taking him back. Like, it needs to happen like this. You know, we get very caught up in our conscious mind's idea of how things will work out. And my perspective is that our conscious mind is operating from our ego, which is, oversimplifying this, operating based on our fears. It's a protection mechanism, and we are operating from our wounding when we are operating from our conscious mind, because these things that we say we need, oh, I need them to text me 75 times a day. I need them to say good morning and good night. I need them to be able to take a phone call at any second. These things are coming from a place of fear, and we think that these behaviors are going to satisfy our fear and put us at ease, and that's how we'll know that, you know, they love us or whatever. And it can be really difficult to actually see that these things that we want, because anything you want out of a relationship, someone somewhere is going to agree that is a normal, acceptable thing, and I'm not saying it's not, but my theory is that everything we want out of a relationship when it comes down to specifics is fear-based. I'll leave it that way. When it's not just true accepting whatever comes and, oh my gosh, I just know it's always going to be in alignment and I'm always going to receive what I'm putting out, that's different. Whereas opposed to like thinking that we need this laundry list of things to happen, fear-based, that is going to put our fears at ease, or we think it is. It's probably not really going to, because we're operating from fear. And so we're literally attracting more fear by saying I need these things, because you need them because there's fear. So you're manifesting more fear. And you're probably going to manifest your fears coming true, or at least appearing to come true. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to read her little excerpt from Your Word is Your Wand on Marriage. Now, again, I deep dive into this, and that video is coming later this week. This just means long-term partnership. This just means long-term commitment, okay? And this is from back in the day. So this example is going to be a very traditional marriage between a man and a woman. And I will explain after I read it, okay? Unless marriage is built upon the rock of oneness, it cannot stand. Two souls with but a single thought, two hearts that beat as one. Now, we often hear this like, oh, they're the other half of me, or like, oh, like I'm complete when I'm with them, or hearing this like two souls but with a single thought, two hearts that beat as one. That gives us the impression that in order for two to become one, the two must be one half, right? We think like mathematically speaking, because two halves become one whole. But what she's just saying is that the two share a single thought, the two share the same heartbeat, or the same thought frequency and the same love frequency. So it just means that you're in alignment. This person is not your other half, but rather your other mirror or your other match. So she says, for unless man and wife are living the same thoughts or living in the same thought world, they must inevitably drift apart. Thought is a tremendous vibratory force, and man is drawn to his thought creations. For example, a man and woman married and were apparently happy. The man became successful, his tastes improved, but the wife still lived in a limited consciousness. So basically she was stuck in scarcity mindset. Whenever the man bought anything, he went to the best shops and selected whatever he needed, regardless of price. Whenever the wife went out, she went to the 5 and 10 cent stores. Scarcity. He was living in thought on 5th Avenue, abundance, and her thought world was on 3rd Avenue, scarcity. Eventually, the break and separation came. We see this so often in the cases of successful men who desert their faithful, hardworking wives later in life. The wife must keep pace with her husband's taste and ambitions and live in his thought world. For where a man thinketh in his heart, there is he. Chill. Anyone who is upset by that, I promise it's not that she's saying that that's the only way that you can achieve this. She's saying for this example, and also this was like back in the day where this was the traditional and expected dynamic of how things worked. Whoever is, so I'm just gonna translate it to modern times. So the husband was the one in this situation that was setting the pace and progressing their experience, right? He's making more money, attracting in abundance, and the wife is not keeping pace in her thoughts or in her heart with this. So, and wherever the man thinks he is in his heart, or person thinks they are in their heart, there they are. So whoever in your relationship is the one that's setting the pace, you need to keep up with that. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman or what the dynamic is, or in terms of like the logistics, whoever is the one setting the pace, the other partner needs to be keeping up with that. And you could split that. It might not just be one partner that's leading. It could just be like, in one area, the person is, leading in abundance, and then the other person, emotional development, and you both need to keep up with each other, is what she's saying, because these two are one in their thought worlds. There is for each person his other half, or divine selection. These two are one in their thought worlds. These are the two whom God has joined together, and no man shall or can part asunder. The twain shall be made one, for in the superconscious mind of each is the same divine plan. That's the important part. For in the superconscious mind of each is the same divine plan. So we're going to go to like what your soul's plan is, whereas manifesting from our conscious mind is a very conditional, singular aspect of you, because it's kind of just where you're at right now. And that's why when we manifest from our conscious mind, those things can, like, the second we get them, we're like, this isn't in alignment anymore, because we manifested from that old part of our conscious mind, which is ever changing and ever growing, which is great. It's fantastic. And that's totally fine to manifest from it. But I like her advice when it comes down to manifesting something that is longer lasting and more aligned with your soul. You need to give that power over to your subconscious mind. Now, of course, there's a lot of fear when it comes to surrendering like that. Control issues are a thing, right? Hey, I feel that. It's something I'm constantly working on myself. But I really do like this advice that if you want to manifest in a longer lasting relationship, and like I got into it in my deep dive video, like if you think about your soul's plan, it's like your entire life and all your potential, right? Infinite potential. But if you're manifesting from your conscious mind, which is something that changes so much, it's just like a little blip, right? Because there's like different versions of your conscious mind, but your subconscious really has the same core, and it's just more expansive. And so if you manifest someone that's in alignment with, hold on, I gotta get a visual. Okay, I feel like I didn't actually have to do this, but I wanted to. So, okay, so down here, this long line is your soul plan, right? That's like your entire human life in this existence. And then there'd be like a million of these, but I only drew 3 because I'm lazy. This is your changing consciousness. So do you see why you might not want to manifest something that's in alignment with just this? You might want to manifest something that's in alignment with down here and can also handle whatever's going on up here. Does that make sense? Like you want to manifest from the foundation, so that every little thing that happens and every little shift is something that foundationally is in alignment. Because when you think about partners, as I have been thinking about partners in terms of manifestation and, you know, what's best in my life, I have always been manifesting from a place of what I felt I needed right that second. And it was never with the intention of having someone that could be by my side no matter what I'm going through. Alex gets vulnerable. You guys know I love sharing honestly with you guys, because, like, I want us all to succeed in life. I want us all to feel successful in life, and find love and love ourselves first, right? Because that's the key. So for me, manifesting consistently people that are just going to help my conscious mind and not really stick with me, that's what I've gotten. But very recently, I have opened myself up to letting go of specific people and just calling in whatever is in alignment with my soul, and really wanting to have the experience now. I feel I'm finally ready with the healing that I've done to manifest in like someone that could stick with me through all the little things that I go through. And I have never, that I can think of, manifested that before in a romantic relationship. So, and I'll tell you guys, I've already seen evidence of it coming into my reality. Like, time is going to be the factor that shows me when I will achieve this part of my divine plan. But if it's not already happening, then birds before land is happening for me. So exciting things, but really, really surrendering to this state of grace that she talks about. And hold on, I'm going to find one more quote. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up here, and funny enough, sorry, whatever. The deep dive that I do, I end on this one too. So in The Game of Life and How to Play It, there's a chapter on love, and she talks about how real love is selfless, free from fear. It pours itself out upon the object of its affection without demanding any return. Talking about true unconditional love. Most of what we know is conditional love, and that's not with judgment. That's just how it is. I talk in this other video a lot about unconditional love and how to practice detaching your conditionality from people and attachment from people. So definitely give that video a watch. It's going to be longer, but I promise it'll be worth it if this is something you're working on. And I'll be happy to go more in depth into any little piece of this if you would like. Let me know in the comments. But definitely check out that video when it comes out in a day or two. I think this one's going to come out on Monday, and that one should come out on Wednesday. So, okay. She has a woman come to her in deep distress. The man she loved left her for another woman and said he never intended to marry her. She was torn with jealousy and resentment and said she hoped he would suffer as he made her suffer, and added, how could he leave me when I loved him so much? And Florence was like, you're not loving that man, you're hating him. You can never receive what you have never given. Rough, but true. Give a perfect love and you will receive a perfect love. Perfect yourself on this man. Give him a perfect, unselfish love, demanding nothing in return. Do not criticize or condemn, and bless him wherever he is. And she goes, nope, I won't bless him unless I know where he is. And she says, well, that is not real love. When you send out real love, it will return to you, either from this man or his equivalent. For if this man is not the divine selection, you will not want him. As you are one with God, you are one with the love which belongs to you by divine right. Talking about the surrendering to the divine plan and knowing that you are one with the universe, you are one with all things, and that is powerful within you. And that if you are embodying unconditional love, this does not mean letting people treat you poorly. This is a state within yourself. Because I think like people can feel like, oh, I'm supposed to be a doormat. No, you are supposed to, in your heart, hold love and grace. And she even goes on in another section. I could just talk for hours about just these little bits that I've been studying since last night. She talks in another section about how no man is your enemy and no man is your friend. Everyone is your teacher. And that you can bless people even when they have given you something to be upset about. If you have learned something, they are your friend, or they are, I think she calls it the gold link, or they are a golden link in like my journey kind of thing. Like, again, this is not how, like saying to let people treat you poorly, but rather to hold love for everyone. And then you are basically releasing the negative narrative, negative view you have of them, and you will no longer manifest that. So instead of being like, oh my gosh, all this girl does is play with my feelings, give love, hold love for how they have benefited you, what they have taught you, what you have learned from them, and just knowing that every human deserves love on a soul level, that we are all one and all connected, which is difficult when you are not giving love to yourself. So if you find a lot of resistance with this, you need to love yourself more. I promise it's going to help so much, because you're not going to want to love other people unconditionally when you're not getting it yourself. So if you're finding a lot of resistance around loving others unconditionally, take a deep, hard look at that. Really sit with yourself. This is something that I have gone through, and I did not want to extend forgiveness and grace and love to other people, and I had no idea, but it was because I wasn't giving it to myself. Of course, that's like if I'm starving and I just bought like, a bunch of food and I'm carrying it, and all these other people are like, I'm really hungry, can I have that? Like, no, bro, I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat first. But yeah, anyway, so moving on, gonna wrap this up. I like that she says, perfect yourself on this man. Use them as practice, right? Like, even if you let go of the idea of being with them, practice giving unconditional love. And I talk about this in my exercises when I talk about visualizing your exes and really letting go, being understanding, letting go of the attachment, of the issues, of the negative views you have of them. Practicing this unconditional love, it'll bring you so much peace. If you want me to do a whole video on this, I totally will, because I need to wrap this up here. But thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts, please. You guys have been quiet lately. I know we've all been going through some crazy stuff. I've been quiet lately, but I am excited to be back in my new space and learning new things, expanding my understanding so I can share with you. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to hear from you, and I will see you in the next video.